Imagine waking up one morning looking out your window and seeing construction crews building a house on your land without your permission. And when you tear it down, the HOA sues you for destruction of property. Yeah, that actually happened to me. My name is Cameron, and this is the story of how an HOA built an entire house on my property, tried to claim it as theirs, and then had the audacity to sue me when I demolished it. Buckle up. This one's wild. About 3 years ago, my wife Melissa and I bought 10 acres of land in a rural development called Cedar Hills. It was beautiful. Mostly wooded, with a clearing perfect for building our dream home. The property was part of a larger HOA community, but honestly, we barely noticed they existed. Dues were minimal, they maintained the access roads, that was it. We weren't in a hurry to build. We were planning, saving money, working with architects. Taking our time to do it right. Meanwhile, we'd drive out on weekends, walk the property, imagine where everything would go. Life was good. Then one Saturday morning, about 6 months after we bought the land, we drove out to the property and saw trucks. Construction trucks. A concrete mixer. Workers. Building a house. On our land. I pulled over fast. Melissa looked at me. Cameron, what the hell? We got out and walked over. There was a foundation already poured. Framing starting to go up. A full construction crew working. I found the foreman. Excuse me, what's going on here? He looked at his clipboard. Building a house. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Should be done in 4 months. On whose authority? Cedar Hills HOA. They hired us. My stomach dropped. This is my property. I own this land. He looked confused. No, this is lot 47. HOA land. It's in the work order. This is lot 32. My lot. I have the deed. The foreman pulled out plans. Showed me. According to his documents, this was lot 47, designated for HOA community use. I pulled out my survey. Showed him. This was lot 32. My property. Clearly marked. His face went pale. Oh shit. Yeah. Oh shit. Stop construction. Now. He called his supervisor. His supervisor called the HOA. Within an hour, the HOA president, a guy named Vincent, showed up. Vincent was in his 50s, expensive car, designer clothes. Real estate developer type. He looked at my survey, looked at his plans, and his jaw tightened. There's been a surveying error, he said. A surveying error? You're building a house on my land. It's clearly a boundary dispute. We'll need to bring in a professional surveyor to settle this. I already have a survey. From when I bought the property. This is lot 32. My property. Vincent's expression was cold. Until this is officially resolved, construction will continue. The hell it will. This is my land. Stop construction or I'm calling the police. Mr. Hayes, I suggest you consult with an attorney before making threats. That's not a threat. That's me protecting my property. I called the police right then. 2 deputies showed up, looked at my survey, looked at the HOA's plans, and basically said this was a civil matter they couldn't intervene in. But they did tell the construction crew to stop work until the boundary was legally established. Vincent left, but not before saying, "We'll be in touch with our surveyor and our attorney." I immediately called a property lawyer. Found a guy named Marcus Chong who specialized in land disputes. Met with him the next day. Marcus looked at everything. My deed, my survey, the HOA's construction plans, photos of the build site. Cameron, this is pretty clear-cut. That's your property. Your survey is recent and professionally done. The HOA built on your land without permission. That's trespassing and unauthorized construction. So what do? We send them a formal letter. They need to remove the structure immediately and restore your land. If they refuse, we sue for trespassing and damages. We sent that letter. Certified mail. Very clear. You built on my property without permission. Remove the structure within 30 days or face legal action. Vincent's response came a week later. Through his attorney. The Cedar Hills HOA disputes your boundary claim. Our surveyor has confirmed that the construction is on lot 47, HOA property. Your survey is incorrect. We will not be removing the structure. If you interfere with construction, we will seek legal remedy. I showed Marcus. He shook his head. They're doubling down. Okay, we need to hire an independent surveyor. Court approved. Get definitive proof. We hired a surveyor. Took him 2 days to do a complete boundary survey using GPS equipment and county records. His report was unambiguous. The house was being built entirely on my property. Lot 32. About 50 feet from the actual Lot 47 boundary. The HOA wasn't even close. This wasn't a boundary dispute. They just built on the wrong lot completely. Marcus filed suit. Trespassing, unauthorized construction, demanding immediate removal and restoration of land plus damages. The HOA countersued. Claimed I was interfering with legitimate community development and demanding damages for construction delays. Meanwhile, construction had stopped. The half-built house just sat there on my land. Foundation, partial framing, sitting there like a monument to HOA incompetence. The case took 8 months to get to court. 8 months of looking at this structure on my property that I couldn't touch because it was evidence in a lawsuit. Court day finally came. County Courthouse, Civil Division. Vincent showed up with 3 other board members and their attorney. Our case was straightforward. Marcus presented my original survey. The independent court-approved survey. County records. GPS coordinates. All showing the same thing. The house was on my property. The HOA's attorney tried to argue that there was ambiguity in the lot descriptions. That their surveyor had used different reference points. That the construction was done in good faith. The judge, an older man named Judge Morrison, cut him off. Counselor, your client built a house on someone else's property. The surveys are clear. The GPS coordinates are clear. There's no ambiguity here. Your client made a mistake. Your Honor, the HOA acted in good faith based on their surveyors. Good faith doesn't give you the right to build on private property. Whether it was a mistake or intentional, the result is the same. They trespassed and built an unauthorized structure. The judge looked at both sides. Here's my ruling. The structure is on the plaintiff's property. The HOA will remove it immediately at their expense and restore the land to its original condition. Additionally, the HOA will pay Mr. Hayes's legal fees and damages for loss of use of his property. He banged the gavel. The HOA's countersuit is dismissed with prejudice. Do not build on people's land without permission. We won. Clear, total victory. Outside the courthouse, Marcus shook my hand. Congratulations. They have to remove it now. How long? Judge ordered 60 days. If they don't, we can get a court order to do it ourselves at their expense. I waited. 60 days came and went. The house was still there. Marcus filed a motion. The judge issued a court order. The HOA had 15 more days or I could demolish it myself and build them. 15 days passed. Still nothing. Cameron, Marcus said, the court's given you permission to remove it. You can hire a demolition company and the HOA will be ordered to pay. I hired a demolition company the next day. Got quotes, scheduled it, everything legal and documented. The demo crew showed up on a Tuesday morning. I was there to watch. They tore that half-built house down in about 6 hours. Foundation broken up, framing hauled away, land graded and restored. Was satisfying. Watching this illegal structure that had been on my property for over a year finally being removed. I documented everything. Photos, videos, receipts. Sent it all to Marcus. Then 2 weeks later I got served. Again. The HOA was suing me. For destruction of property. Claiming the demolition was unauthorized and demanding $200,000 in damages for the destroyed structure and construction delays. I called Marcus immediately. They're suing me for following the court order? He actually laughed. Cameron, they're insane. They built on your land, lost in court, refused to remove it, and now they're suing you for removing it after the judge gave you permission? This is going to be fun. The case went back to court 3 months later. Same judge, Judge Morrison, who looked extremely irritated when he saw the filing. The HOA's attorney argued that I'd acted precipitously, that they were planning to remove the structure but needed more time, that the demolition caused unnecessary damage. Judge Morrison's face got progressively redder as he listened. When the attorney finished, the judge leaned forward. Counselor, let me make sure I understand. Your client built on Mr. Hayes's property. I ruled in his favor. I ordered your client to remove the structure in 60 days. They didn't. I gave them an additional 15 days. They didn't. I then gave Mr. Hayes permission to remove it at their expense. He did. And now you're suing him for following my order? Your Honor, we needed more time too. You had 75 days. How much time do you need to fix your own mistake? The demolition was done hastily and it was done after multiple court orders that your client ignored. The judge was angry now. Mr. Hayes had every right, both legally and by court order, to remove that structure. Your client is lucky he's only billing you for demolition and not additional damages for continued trespass. He looked at both sides. This lawsuit is dismissed. With prejudice. Furthermore, the HOA will pay Mr. Hayes's legal fees for having to defend against this frivolous action. And I'm sanctioning the HOA $5,000 for filing a baseless claim in bad faith. He pointed at Vincent. Mr. Abbott, if I see another lawsuit from your HOA about this property, I will hold you personally in contempt. Am I clear? Vincent nodded, looking like he wanted to disappear. The gavel came down. We won again. But here's where it gets even better. After that second ruling, word spread through Cedar Hills about what the HOA had done. Turns out I wasn't the only one. 3 other property owners came forward saying the HOA had encroached on their land too. Shed built over a property line. Access road cutting through private property. Drainage system installed without permission. A group of homeowners called for a special meeting. Demanded an investigation into how the HOA was managing property boundaries and construction. The investigation found that Vincent had been approving construction projects without proper surveys. Cutting corners to save money. Multiple violations across multiple properties. Within 2 months, Vincent and the entire board were voted out. Recall election, overwhelming majority. The new board's first action? Hiring a professional surveying company to verify every single property boundary in Cedar Hills. Their second action. Sending formal apologies and paying settlements to everyone the old board had encroached on. As for my land? Finally clear. No illegal structures. No HOA encroachment. Just my 10 acres, ready for when we finally build our dream home. Which we're doing now, by the way. With proper surveys, proper permits, and absolutely no HOA involvement beyond what's legally required. Here's what I learned from this nightmare. Some HOAs think they own everything in the community, including private property. They cut corners, skip surveys, and build wherever they want. And when they get caught, instead of admitting fault, they double down. But property rights are property rights. If someone builds on your land without permission, you have every legal right to remove it. Even if it's an HOA. Even if they sue you for following court orders. That house they built? Gone. The lawsuit they filed? Dismissed with sanctions. The board that tried to steal my land? Voted out. My property is mine. And I have 2 court rulings and a demolition receipt to prove it. Thanks for listening. This is Cameron, signing off from my 10 acres of HOA free land. Where I'm building my dream home on MY property, not theirs.